In our political analysts, Democrat Betsy Sweet and Republican Garrett Mason. Thank you both for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
I guess just right off the bat, this speech was not like other State of the State addresses. What stuck out to you the most, Garrett?
Yeah, I mean, I think with the bifurcated speech, a letter and a formal address, I think, you have to kind of bring both in. Maine people didn't see the economic piece of it, but, I think, one thing that we didn't hear from the governor on TV tonight was an economic message. I think a lot of Maine people are hurting. They are struggling with their power bill. They're struggling with their electricity bill. The governor talked about inflation in her letter to the legislature and to the people of Maine. Inflation may be cooling, it's slowing down, but we're still going to suffer the side effects of that for many, many years. So I think that is a piece that was really missed tonight, that Governor Mills didn't get the chance to deliver that message to the Maine people. So I was disappointed with that.
But Betsy, that was intentional.
Yeah, that was intentional because I think the gravity of what happened in Lewiston and the gravity of the storms, I think, was so intense that she felt it was really time to actually focus people's attention on that. If you look at what she said in her written speech, there's a lot of stuff about the economy there, both on a lot of the good things that are happening in Maine, a lot of really good things, job creation and low unemployment and those kinds of things, as well as some of the things that are challenging from a national scale. So I think she did a unique and different thing that really focused people sort of where their hearts are.
Yeah, specifically on gun legislation, she's introducing a proposal to strengthen mental health services in the state, close gaps in our so-called yellow flag law. Garrett, does that resonate with Republicans, and is she likely to get that support?
Yeah, I think what you saw tonight was the Janet Mills that campaigned in 2018. I think this is a very, she could have gone a lot of different directions with a proposal like this, but I think this is she's thought a lot about it. She put something forward. I think, Republicans are really going to love the mental health aspect. That's something that they've been talking about since this tragedy happened. I think, the centers, like the one here in Portland, the one that she plans to open in Lewiston, I think that's an appropriate step, and I personally would love to see where that goes. As far as the other pieces of it, I think, the problem is always going to come down to the red flag logs. Is there due process? Like, what kind of process is that going to go through? Is this going to be 3 different proposals, or is it going to be one proposal? That could be a big thing too.
And I think one of the things, the biggest thing that she said actually is not in any of the proposals, but is a shift in how we look at gun violence, taking it from a criminal issue to looking at it as a public health issue. And that alone is a huge shift. I wish she would do the same thing on drug policy, but I think that's a big shift. The elephant in the room that was not discussed was the assault weapons ban, which is something that many Mainers, majority of Mainers support. A 72-hour waiting period that would really look at the biggest gun issue in Maine, which is suicide, would help with that. And this yellow flag law, I mean, it's definitely an improvement, but it does not deal with the ability of a family member to go forward. It still requires that you take someone into protective custody, and that's the problem. And so I think, again, she opened a fantastic door. She clearly has thought a lot about it, talked to a lot of people. It's going to be a great conversation, and I think you'll see some different kind of movement from the legislature. I think maybe from both sides.
All right, Garrett Mason, Betsy Sweet, thank you so much.
Thank you.